Okay, part two. So we've had all the composite parts of the intro. And that bit, right? So we've got three different parts there, depending on whether you're playing it as one guitarist, or if you're playing it, just for your own enjoyment, you might want to just try all three and alternate them. If you're playing it in a band, you maybe, I don't know, maybe want to get one guy doing it, the other guy going. But there's nothing to stop you having both guitars going. Yeah, that'd be good too. Now, the rundown that goes leads lovely into, wasn't very good grammar, but leads beautifully to an A chord. But the verses are in D, so it has to do this. And we're into the first verse. Now, the verses have four chords. They have D, D minor, then C, G, same again, the chorus is almost the same, it's slightly different rhythmically. Chorus goes like this. So that's let it rain, let your love rain down. So you've got C, G into the second verse, which is now I know the secret, there is nothing that I lack. If I give my love to you, you surely give it back. Okay, so that's the second verse, same as the first. Second chorus. Or if you wanted, should give it a slight sort of Hendrixy thing where you get the major chord of the third on the bottom. That chord instead of that one, right? It's the same notes, it's just, the third, the F sharp, is played there. Right, so that's two verses, two choruses. We then go into a section that's quite reminiscent, I think, of Stereo to Heaven. I honestly don't know why they have these lawsuits other than to put money in lawyers' pockets, and that's never a good thing. So, the off my soapbox, it goes to F sharp minor. It does this. So you get this descending line that you've heard in lots of songs. It's in. So it's in that one, right? But in this case, it's in F sharp minor. So the descending line does this: 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Right? And it's played in these arpeggios, so the top three notes are always the same. And then and if we're making comparisons, I think that's quite like My Sweet Lord, the E minor to A bit. Over that F sharp minor is the first of Eric's three solos. So over the F sharp minor, he plays the most reverb-drenched solo you've ever heard in your life. It sounds like he's playing in the middle of the Albert Hall. Now I'm playing through a tiny little practice up here. First time I heard this as a teenager, I thought it was like a choir of angels. So to get as close as I can, I've turned the tone all the way down. I'm on the neck pickup. So over the, here's what it plays. I'm trying to make that as sweet as I can. And as I say, it's got more reverb than, you know, is known to man. And the thing you'll notice is there's no finger vibrato. So even if you play it with a different sound, it's still played incredibly straight. Right? So those are the notes. So off the F sharp minor scale, so we've got F sharp, A flat, A, B, bend to B, and then go right up to F sharp, lay down, then we're into the E minor to A. And what happens is the solo here kind of just lags slightly behind the beat. So same again. Right, so you've basically got the same lick 3 times, but it's wanted to take us back to the next verse. So the first one, we've got the E minor, it's the A, and then it plays. Right, so play a rake as if you're playing an E minor. Just go. And then play the D. And then play the D again. Again, a bent note, no, none of that. Same again, slightly different timing. And there's this little rundown which goes G, F sharp, E. And then that one's kind of like an afterthought, and I think it's actually faded out. So the third lick is like first one. And we're into the third verse. So same again. That's effectively the song, were it not for 3 more solos to come. Eric, Bobby Whitlock on the keys, and then Eric. So I'll leave it at that point just now, but the solos are played over A, by the way, they're not, it goes back to the over that bit. So if you imagine that rhythm, you know, it's played over that kind of quite chugging rhythm. And what happens is, where you would expect Eric's solo to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't. What happens is he lets it breathe, so you get. Same again. Like that. Now that, outside of Peter Frampton, that is one of the best examples of a Mixolydian mode or a Mixolydian scale. Now, I'm sure Eric was not thinking, I think I'll just bump into the Mixolydian scale at this point. That's just the way he played. And throughout the solo, you hear him play major minor. But that part is that descending run. And what makes it Mixolydian is that it's an A major scale. But it doesn't have that note, it's got this note. Right? So instead of going, it goes, it's a little bit half the edge. That's good, right? So what happens is you hear this down the A scale. So it's got A, G, F sharp, E, D. That's real Clapton major minor stuff. And I'll go over that solo in depth the next time. I won't do Bobby Whitlock's keyboard solo, but then I'll do Eric Clapton's final solo. Which you'll probably remember starts off with this fantastic. That's solo 3. So we've had solo 1 is solo 2, and solo 3 is, right, so we'll go over solo 2 and solo 3 next time, but I mean at this point the song's done and it's just what would be a fade out, but you know, it's quite a long fade out. So I hope you're still with me, and that's been something that you can take something from. So I'll see you next time for parts 3 and parts 4.